Hello, and welcome to my new video series, The Implications of Evolution. This is episode 1, in which we'll be discussing the question, does the fact that we evolved from other animals mean that our conception of morality is really just an illusion? Typically, when we think of morality, we think of it as being something that only applies to humans. So, for example, even though we may like it when other species display characteristics that we associate with morality in humans, such as altruism, we don't then try to prescribe that type of behavior as a moral imperative to that other species. For example, even if we like it when a dolphin seems to rescue a human in peril, we don't then try to say that it is the dolphin's duty to rescue humans in peril. When another species kills a human, we'll often go out and hunt down the individual that killed the human, but we do that as an expression of fear, not as an expression of moral outrage. When squirrels steal birdseed from a bird feeder, we don't consider that they're burglars. When we call Fido a bad dog, we're not actually trying to imply that he's lacking some moral fiber. So, when we realize then that we are in fact animals too, that essentially we're just an intelligent species of African ape, it's natural to ask the question, is morality a real thing? Are we subject to moral standards that other species aren't? If a human kills another human, how is that different than if a lion does it? Well, to really dive into this question, which is a philosophical question at its heart, even more than it is a science question, we have to come to an understanding of what morality itself is. Now, here in the West, we associate morality with a Judeo-Christian or Islamic, with a monotheistic explanation of what morality is. And the monotheistic explanation is that morality is obedience to a lawgiver, God. But even when you consider how highly religious people here in the United States and elsewhere in the Western world process morality, there seems to be a discrepancy between a practical morality as experienced by religious people and the religious morality that is prescribed in religious literature. Take, for example, the famous story of Abraham sacrificing his son Isaac. That's treated by religion as essentially the ultimate moral act, that he was willing to give up his son because God told him to. And in fact, according to these religions, it is only okay that he did not sacrifice his son because God changed the plan. If God hadn't changed the plan, then Abraham still would have been required to kill his son, and doing so would have been the morally right thing to do. But then, the way we in Western society have structured our laws in dealing with murderers, there is no allowance for killing someone because God told you to do it. If someone kills their children and then says it was a command from God, that individual is going to either wind up in the clink or the funny farm. And that's because even though religious people may believe religiously that to kill your child because God told you to is a morally right thing, that practical morality that we all have tells them no, murdering your children is wrong. And it's the concept of practical morality where evolution comes into play. Because we evolved to have a sense of morality for the purpose of being able to have civilization. That idea of morality that we have is really about allowing us to live with other humans who don't have a close familial relationship to us, other humans we may not even know, yet we still respect them, we respect their space and their property, and we view it as morally wrong to take those things from them. it allows us to live without the risk of conflict that we would have otherwise. Now, it's also worth noting that if an individual happens to believe that there is a God, that there is a lawgiver, and that obedience to that lawgiver is the ultimate in morality, the science of evolutionary biology doesn't actually contradict that. Evolutionary biology does not say that there is no God, or that there is no lawgiver. And if there is a god, or a goddess, or gods, that wishes to give laws to humans, he, she, it, they could still do so even with humans being a relatively intelligent form of ape. But I think having an understanding of morality according to the evolutionary processes that brought about these moral instincts in us leads to a much more fulfilling and a richer experience. And because not only have we evolved to be moral individuals, but we've also evolved intelligence, we can choose to expand our own understanding and our own expression of morality so that it goes beyond simply that treating other people in a way that will allow us to live in a civilization with them. But we can expand our morality to include things like taking care of the earth and the environment, not causing unnecessary suffering to any species, whether that species is one we want to include in our own society or not. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. If you have enjoyed it, please subscribe and share it with others, and like it too. Until next time.